I thought it was the most extraordinary advert for Englishness. I did wonder how the late Queen would have responded to the public display of affection.
Well, I assumed that this was an Archwell production.
And what's the alternative? That
Wait for it.
she should sit and do a piece to camera, po-faced?
At 100 minutes after this major revelation, by pure chance, Netflix, Meghan and Harry decide that is the moment to promote a series that doesn't air until December.
Stop it.
They wanted to capitalise on all the publicity around the Kate announcement by saying, boom, by the way, don't forget about us.
They're just remorseless, selfish, false, ghastly couple.
What fact do you expect him to do to earn money?
Not trade off the institution he trashes.
Money.
Yes.
Kate's cancer video, I know what we'll do. We'll stick out our promo for our Polo series. Wow.
Okay.
It's been a wretched year for Catherine, the Princess of Wales. There was Kate's conspiracy, the botched Mother's Day photograph, months of vicious and unfounded rumours about her marriage, and most seriously of all, of course, she was diagnosed with cancer. But this week, to everyone's great relief, she announced that she's now through chemotherapy and is currently cancer-free.
To an end. I cannot tell you what a relief it is to have finally completed my chemotherapy treatment.
Are you serious?
The last 9 months have been incredibly tough for us as a family. Life as you know it can change in an instant. This time has above all reminded William and me to reflect and
Oh my God!
be grateful for the simple yet important things in life, which so many of us often take for granted, of simply loving and being loved.
Of course, these days we're not allowed to have nice things. Social media critics and some commentators called it contrived, a cringe fest, and perhaps the most damning critique of all, like something Harry and Meghan would do. As you might imagine, I disagree. In a late entry for the most tasteless and despicable deed of the summer,
Stop it.
Harry and Meghan released an advertisement for their new documentary about polo, the world's most elite sport, just 90 minutes after Kate's announcement. Well, joining me now to discuss all this is royal historian Tessa Dunlop, lawyer and commentator Paula Rowan-Adrian,
Okay.
and author of Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, Tom Bow. Well, welcome to all of you. First of all, I've seen you all since the end of the long, hot summer. Tom, let me start with you, because it was an extraordinary way to make a statement.
Wait for it.
I've never seen anything quite like it from a member of the royal family, where we had this 3-minute, highly produced, movie-quality film. But at the heart of it, as I wrote in The Sun, was a princess...
What is he doing?
...laying herself open and saying, I've realised what is really important in life is loving and being loved, and the film certainly showed that with her husband and her kids. But what did you make of it?
Wait for it.
Well, it was very gushing and it was beautifully made and it was unique in the sense we'd never seen anything like that before for the British royal family. But I think the public mood towards Catherine is so beneficent. Everyone loves her and wants her to survive and prosper and be the future queen.
Oh my God!
That if that is the way she wants to reintroduce herself, everything is forgiven. And I thought there was nothing nasty about it. There was nothing over the top. It was just, this is how I want to be known. And that's fine. I thought, therefore, I liked it. And
Fact.
Everything Catherine does, in my view, is okay.
I found it very moving, but only because I think she's a young woman in her early 40s who's, we don't know what cancer it is, but it must have been serious, whatever this is, because it's taken her out of action now.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
For most of the year. She hasn't given any commitment to do any more engagements this year. She may or may not, she says. And, you know, I know somebody at the moment with terminal cancer, and we all know people who've been touched by cancer. It is an appalling thing. Fact. When it's someone you know going through this, both physically but also mentally and emotionally for everyone. Tessa, though, if you read what Daily Mail columnist Liz Jones said, she said about the video, cancer is messy, imperfect, shattering. After all the mental health initiatives, her work stressing the importance of shaping young minds, this strange, odd film seemed a misfire from a family once so protective of their privacy. And Melanie McDonough in The Standard wrote,
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
forgive me, was it necessary to share this news with the nation in such an utterly grisly video? It's as if she was advertising herbal essences shampoo. What do you think of that criticism?
Very good question.
Well, it's interesting. It depends where you believe the key role of monarchy is. And given that they are the future, the touchstone, if you like, and all eyes are on her internationally as well, I thought it was the most extraordinary advert for Englishness.
Are you serious?
It was a golden summer that I didn't experience. I mean, you went overseas.
Well, I did.
Those of us-
I was in Italy and France.
Those of us hunkered down in Britain. So on the one hand, it was a brilliant advert for the nation. So well done, Kate. I'm sure the English Tourist Board are currently
Almost there.
raking it in. But there is a disconnect. And I think the reason there's a disconnect is because this is a very different version of monarchy that places family in the smallest sense of the word first and monarchy, the
Here it comes.
institution second. What Kate's basically saying is, this is what I value the most, and it's my family, and everything else, including being a part of an institution of state, takes very much a back seat. And
Are you serious?
I did wonder how the late Queen would have responded to the public display of affection.
Well, OK, so Paul, let's talk about that, because the Queen, apart from the fact, we'll come to it, there's been the world's worst statue of the Queen released today in Antrim in Belfast, just quite extraordinary thing.
Okay.
In Northern Ireland. Let's park that horror story to one side. People have said, well, the Queen would never have done it. Interestingly, towards the end of her life, the Queen started doing some stuff, the Paddington Bear film, the Daniel Craig thing, things we would never have expected her to ever deign to do. She was beginning to relax herself in terms of the kind of content she was prepared to put out, recognising that in this kind of Instagram-friendly world we now live in, if you want to get to the eyeballs you want to get to preserve the monarchy, you maybe got to get in this game a bit.
Yes, but if the point of this video was to control the narrative, which is what we hear a lot about, don't we? I have to say I'm
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
confused because when I watched the video, I was befuddled. I couldn't understand the words I was hearing with then what I was seeing. What I was seeing was, as you said yourself, Piers, something that was very well produced, very slick, very polished.
That doesn't make sense.
And it was almost like a show because on the one hand, we had George going up to the camera in his cute, cheeky way and saying, is this rolling? Well, we know it's rolling and we know that you've got 6 cameramen standing behind you, etc. And on...
Are you serious?
And on top of that, honest to God, when I finished watching it, I wanted to know who the producer was because I assumed that this was an Archwell production because this looked like a Harry and Meghan.
It was that bad, you mean?
Well...
Okay.
I'm not suggesting that that's why you might think it was bad. I'm saying that it was very glossy, very California, very let's run barefoot in the sand. And that, to me, didn't represent what the message I understood
Well,
wanted to
someone
get
posted
across.
on X, as Liz Jones reported, this isn't what cancer looks like. Other
Yes.
sufferers will feel, well, I'm doing it all wrong. Others commented, why are the wardrobe changes, the soft music, the slow motion?
Yeah.
It was intended to show they're a happy family, but you have to
Are you serious?
try this hard, ...
Hang on, for 1 minute. Let's just cut the woman some slack. We were like braying animals at the bars when she released a homespun photograph with a little bit of tweaking here and there.
Yeah.
Can you blame her for going all out schmaltz and taking a leaf out of the Oh So Californian book? To be fair, I totally understand why this was choreographed to within 1 inch of its life. It's what we asked for.
But then
Stop it.
compare it with the video that we had at the end of March, forgive me if I'm incorrect about that date, when Kate had to, sadly, she was forced, she was pushed into telling us that very personal detail about her cancer journey.
Again, that was soft focus, daffodils waving.
But it was her. In this video, Piers, I didn't see Catherine. What I saw was something that felt like an actress using the words of Catherine. And that I thought was very interesting because
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
I said, I wondered whether this was about having some kind of polished, controlling the narrative exercise rather than Catherine being able to say, everyone, I've made it through this very difficult hurdle and I'm on to the next stage. I would also question some of the wording that was used. For example, I'm here holding your hand, other cancer sufferers. I would have thought we would have seen that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I would have thought we would have seen Catherine.
You mean literally see her with other cancer patients?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but see, I would take issue with that because when I read that last line, I thought what I liked about it, and we'll come to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex element of this, but everything they do, in my opinion, and we can argue about this, is self-aggrandizing. It's to promote themselves. It's to do, whatever they want to do. This
all
was
the charity work. This was work with Invictus.
This was a princess laying herself bare and saying, "I understand that there are a lot of people out there with cancer, and I just want you to know that I'm metaphorically here with you. That's why I'm doing this. I want to shine a light on cancer and everything else." I thought that was powerful.
That doesn't make sense.
Isn't that actually the duty and role of the monarchy? Is that the senior players do, even though we know they live in palaces, we know they have servants, we know they have all the trinkets, ultimately they put a kind of metaphorical arm around and say, we're with
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
with you. They're like the country's comfort blanket.
I totally agree. And that was the issue. That was the juxtaposition for me, because I was hearing these words and I was confused as to, I've got family members who have thankfully survived their cancer journeys. It didn't look anything like that. And that's not to say that Catherine's journey needs to look like my family member's journey or anybody else's journey.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
Is that a fair?
No, because you don't know what the journey was like.
I'm accepting
what
that.
we're seeing is the end of the journey, so to speak. And, she wanted to reintroduce herself to the public. I thought it was very, very wonderful to see the happy family. I think they have to appeal to the youth of Britain, who are not natural monarchists. They wanted to show that they were a happy family again. And what's the alternative? That she should sit and do a piece to camera, po-faced? I mean, how should she?
Well, to not pan.
Very good question.
But what about I have seen the criticism that if she talked about holding the hands of everyone who's got cancer, maybe having some footage of her actually with other people.
Do that another time. She clearly hasn't got over it. She's got through the chemotherapy.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to go.
It'll be 5 years before any doctor says
you're out of remission.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All she wanted to do was say, I'm back. Last time she did it with the photo, she was criticised. She's criticised whatever she does.
Yeah.
That's the terrible thing about this discussion. She can't get it right for some people.
But actually...
For me, she can only get it right because she is the future of the monarchy. And if that is the way she is advised to reintroduce herself, if that is the way in which, in this beautiful film, schmucky but lovely, that is the way to
Funny enough,
people.
I think it was all from her. I just got the real feeling she wasn't advised to do it this way. She decided...
Well, she chooses her advisors. And her advisors give her what she wants and then translate it into that film. I think that's fine.
Fact.
That's it. I mean, she's a tough cookie. She's very nasty a lot of the time. She's supposed to be screaming at Harry a lot of the time. I don't know whether she hits him or not, but she is very, very dangerous, I think.
Breaking right now, Valentine Lowe, who is the well-regarded royal author of Courtiers, who broke the original story of the bullying HR investigation into Meghan Markle at Buckingham Palace, has responded to Hollywood Reporter's bombshell suggestion that Meghan Markle is an HR nightmare, terrifying for staff, and even a, quote, dictator in high heels. So
Wait a minute.
this is what Valentine Lowe has had to say. He said, it does have some glaring and fascinating echoes of everything I wrote and that others have written before about Meghan. I don't know about the truth of the Hollywood Reporter article, but it seems to be a pattern that she is, depending on your point of view, either a demanding boss or a difficult one.
Bruh, chill.
She certainly has clear standards, but on the other hand, the demands she makes of people may not always reflect what's possible. She may demand too much. Of course, Valentine Lowe originally revealed that Jason Knauf, then the Kensington Palace press secretary, had written an internal email in 2018 pointing out that he was very concerned that Meghan Markle was able to, quote, bully 2 PAs out of the royal household in the past year. He said the treatment of the staff was totally unacceptable, and he went on to say the Duchess seems intent on always having someone in her sights. She is bullying and seeking to undermine her confidence. We have had report after report from people who have witnessed unacceptable behaviour.
Boy.
So, Angela Levin, this is absolutely fascinating, isn't it? Because, as you know, for a very long time, Harry and Meghan's argument has been that all of the reports of bullying behaviour and terrible treatment of staff was just a campaign.
That doesn't make sense.
By the men in grey suits within Buckingham Palace, by people like you and me in the media who they decided we just had it in for them. Absolutely not true, by the way. We were just reporting what really happened. But how on earth can they justify the fact that the exact same thing has now happened in Hollywood and has been reported by Hollywood Reporter, which, Angela, is not some sort of right-wing or conservative publication. I mean, this is the woke Bible of Hollywood, and they are talking about how terrible Meghan is.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it's very interesting, isn't it? I mean, they do feel it. Just add to you that it's the palace who's made it all up to be unkind to her, which, you know, is now known to be nonsense. So the Hollywood Reporter is very highly respected. And they are believed to tell the truth. So for them to really have a go at her is partly fascinating and partly astonishing. So they've said that everyone can get terrified by her. She belittles people. She doesn't take advice. Harry is very charming, but he's an enabler. That means he just does what he's told, and that's it.
Said, wait a minute.
And she's called Duchess Difficult, and it's going to be a very, very hard one to live with. I mean, she said she marches around like a dictator in high heels, fuming and barking orders, and she's reduced grown men to tears. It's very interesting, isn't it?
Do you believe it, Angela, based on your reporting of Meghan?
Well, I think so. I mean, you can see that. You just have to see what she's like with her husband, pulling him around, gripping him. And when he wants to go up to speak, which was very shortly, a few weeks ago, you know, she was holding him back and he was pulling to go and he pulled up. Now, you know, only people who have problems with themselves will do that to an unlimited number of people watching.
Yes, exactly.
I don't think she will take them to court. We'll have to see. But I think what she will do, which she does when she hates what's happened, is to go very, very quiet. I think she had her weekend of fun, and then she'll go very, very quiet. And then there'll be one PR after another PR thing saying how wonderful she is and how it's all going. And her cooking things are all fine, even though they won't come out till February. And Netflix is doing something, even though it's not going to come out till December. And I think that's how it will be. I think it will be too much to do that. Do you remember the cartoon about her, which was also extremely rude and nasty? You know, I want privacy. She didn't take them to court. She didn't.
No.
And she hadn't.
Well, I don't think
did that
there's
either.
I don't think there's any way she can, Angela. I mean, they have spoken to 12 current or former staff members. And actually, what's really fascinating, and this doesn't always happen, is that Hollywood Reporter are actually prepared to speak publicly about what they discovered on a major syndicated American TV show called Access Hollywood. So let me play you the first part of this, Angela, and we can react off the bat.
According to the Hollywood Reporter's Mayor Roshan, the magazine's bombshell report investigates the reported mass exodus of employees who worked under the Duke and Duchess.
Our reporter talked to, I think, a dozen people. Most of them are people who have worked very closely with the couple in various capacities, now and previously.
The article comes on the heels of news last month claiming that the couple's chief of staff, Josh Kettler, left his post after only 3 months on the job, which we are told was a trial period and a mutual decision. Kettler has not returned our request for comment.
Boy. Our reporter talked to one very high-up source who works for the couple who said everyone is terrified of Meghan Markle.
That doesn't make sense.
A Hollywood Reporter quotes the sources saying Meghan, quote, belittles people. She doesn't take advice. Harry is a very, very charming person, no airs at all, but he's very much an enabler. According to the...
Now, Angela, that man who we just saw there, Maya Roshan, he is the editor-in-chief of the Hollywood Reporter. So if she was going to sue anyone, she would be suing him. Now, you can see he stands by his story. He's very confident about it. He's prepared to say, our reporters are speaking to very senior people who work for them. I mean, to me, this looks like copper bottom reporting.
Good job. Yes, absolutely. The editor of a paper won't go out and speak like that if he had a tiny bit of doubt, would he? He just wouldn't do it. And so there we are. We have it. But actually, there are a lot of figures that confirm this. One is that, she's lost 18 top people since they left Buckingham Palace. But there's also been nearly 20 people at a lower level who've also gone. The problem is they've had to sign a lot of papers that they won't say anything about their lives there.
I said, wait a minute.
And, I think that's right at one level, but so they're absolutely tongue-tied to do anything, saying what they want to do now.